Hello and welcome to today's episode of Beyond the Broomstick, that podcast that opens up the opportunities and possibilities that spirituality can bring to you in your everyday life, whilst removing some of the woo-woo that we see on social media these days. In today's episode, we're going to be having a look at karma. I'm going to go through some traditional thought patterns on what karma is and how it plays out. As with all my episodes, towards the end of the episode, we'll be giving you some new predictions for the coming months. And I'm also going to talk about some stuff going on in the news right now, and information I've picked up both from my guides and through channeling as to what might actually be happening. Back in 2023, I made a social media post saying that 2024 was a year where democracy was going to be challenged. And it would be challenged worldwide during 2024. Given there was 30 plus elections worldwide during that period of time, it wasn't just the US election, it was worldwide. I explained that people needed to be very aware of the voting systems, the systems where they lived, and to pay attention to the propaganda that they were fed. And also pay attention to how democracy would be challenged behind the scenes. This has come to play out with fascism being on the rise globally. And it has become more and more aware that many elections have been interfered with, which is apt, because I'm going to be talking about karma today. What I want to say to people is this. Over the coming years, and yes, I am saying years, it is going to be obvious that things have to change because democracy has been challenged in the biggest way in over 100 years. This is about the system failing and falling so it can be rebuilt. I understand many of you are raising your hands and saying, I don't want to live in history. I don't want to live in a historic year. I've had enough. And while I understand that, and whilst I sympathize with you, this is about you as a community coming together to help each other through this trying time. Things behind the scenes are not always as they are shown in front. And that includes actions that may or may not be taken. Do I think someone's suddenly coming to save the USA? No, I don't. Do I think the USA needs to save itself? Yes, I do. How that plays out, I cannot tell you right now, but it is not something that's going to happen a week on Tuesday or even in March. It is something that is going to take a long time to fall apart in order to rebuild itself. My job is to help you build the resilience that you need to get through this and understand, as I have said all of last year, that it is time to build your community. Community is key. It is incredibly important that you know who your people are and you keep yourself safe. it isn't going to fix itself tomorrow. And I see time and time again people on social media, even on my Patreon page, when's the knight in shining armor coming? When's someone coming to save us? When are the Democrats coming to take over? It's not going to play out like that. It is going to be a dicey 12 months. Now, do I think that the orange Cheeto, somebody called him Cittadini, orange Cittadini, as in Mussolini. Do I think that he is suddenly is he going to last 4 years? No, I don't. I have been shown very clearly that he is unlikely to last a full 12 months. How it plays out, I cannot tell you. But he is going to upset a lot of people internationally that are going to react in ways that could well put the United States at risk. Watch out for April. It could be a very difficult month. I have told people a lot and for a long time to have a survival kit. I've been talking about this for over 12 months. It's on my Patreon. We've got pages on it. We have been talking about growing hydroponically. We have been talking about making sure that you have a small amount of cash on hand. It is not just the weather, but weather is going to be a problem. It is weather. It is civil unrest. It is cybersecurity. It could even be attacks on the United States. And you need to be prepared for that with a small amount of food, water. Water is actually very relevant, and I don't know why Spirit keeps telling me water, water, water. So be aware that fresh water is relevant due to contamination. It could also be illness through different countries. This is globally because there are a lot of global weather patterns that are changing. But I really want people to understand that there is no magic wand. And my job is to help you build that resilience within you, the distraction methods, the don't panic. Fear is going to cripple you. It's really going to make you unable to do anything. And if you are the person that panics, if you are fearful, you are the most at risk. What is happening at the moment is they are trying to push people into action and into civil unrest in order to get more control. Please understand that is what is happening. A lot of these executive orders still have to go through Congress, but he's putting fear in your hearts. And it is right to be fearful, but try and turn it into anger and action. It's time for that shout out for all my new Patreon members. Wow, we've had an uptick in Patreon members this week. I cannot thank you enough. Remember, if you don't know about Patreon, pop along to my show notes. We've just put our calendar for February up, which means I'm on chats a couple of times. We've got our coffee morning. Every member gets to come along to a coffee morning. If you are there, you get to ask a question. I have my Q&A podcast has just gone out with lots of other questions. I'm on chats, which is on Patreon. You get discounts. I've just released the discounts for the April readings for those wanting to book a reading. And I've just released my large evidential mediumship group for February. Busy, busy, busy times. Patreon is great. We are building a beautiful community over there. Lots of people supporting people. Lots of talk about recipe building. We make sure that all of our links for news articles are verified. Keep an eye on that. But if you don't know about Patreon, pop along to my show notes and it will take you through. So I'm going to give a shout out to all of my Patreon members. We have Magic Lovey, Cheryl, Gabby, Cheryl, Vicky, Jamie, Katie, Molly, Ara, Mav, Deborah, Tara, Jessica, Holly GNS, Katerina, Tracy Pearson, McKenna Dixon, Marcus, Robbie, Terry, Christine, Monique, Ayla, Anne, Chappie, Sheila, Robin. Chappie has joined for 12 months. Ayla has joined for 12 months. Monique has joined for 12 months. I apologise. I should have done that way. Morgan, Stephanie, Aislinn, Claudia, Ems, Vanessa, Lou or Luke's, Alyssa, Angie, Emily, Deb Z, Nancy Atkins, Candice Brantley, Courtney Norton, Heather, Teresa, Maritza, Crystal, Jen, Kelly, Jen, Laurie, Dee, Megan, Madeline, Beatrice, Melissa, Sue, Kate, Kim, Danette, Clarabelle, Debbie, AJ, Laura, Emma, who's joined for 12 months, Kay, Christy, who has joined for 12 months, Yo-Yo, Colleen, Jackie, who has joined for 12 months, Akshishi, Natasha, Lynn, Jutta, Catalina, Linda, Gretchen, who has joined for 12 months, Wilma, Amby. We have a few this month or this week. Marion, Lisa, Lauren. Lisa has joined for 12 months. James, Jennifer, Tori, Sandra, Trinity, T, Susan, Cynthia, Elizabeth, Sayantika, Lisa, who's joined for 12 months, Julie, who's joined for 12 months, Honey Clouds, Denise, Heather Harold, Migrating Coconut, Chimes, Robert, Helen, Stephanie, who's joined for 12 months, Chasmo, who's joined for 12 months, Gay, who has joined for 12 months, Silva, Yana, Carol, Cheryl, Lauren, Shelley, Becky, who has joined for 12 months, Mia, who has joined for 12 months, Auntie M, Terry Tablanti, who has joined for 12 months, Naomi, Lynn, who has joined for 12 months, Granny Shani, Cecile, Callista, Suzanne, Witch Doctor, who has joined for 12 months, Bree, C. Simone, Christine, Jen, Jessamine, Natasha, Nicole, and Matthew. You guys rock. You are amazing for supporting us. Remember, just even by the $5 membership, you get to attend my coffee morning, you get a newsletter, you get access to the chats, and you get a discount on readings. And early release, you get at them before anyone else gets them. April readings are going up on the 1st of February. The discounts are in your discount code little collections. Remember, April readings, there's only a very limited amount because I am going over to the United States to partake in an event in Palm Springs. If you don't know and you live in Southern California, I will be in Palm Springs with Laurie Rivers we will be hosting an event at the Palm Springs Convention Center on the 26th of April. It's very exciting. So hopefully I'll get to meet some of you there. One of the biggest questions I get asked a lot, and this is whether it's on my coffee morning, whether it's a Q&A, I get asked about karma. And is karma real? Does it play out? And my response is often, if you hold on to the expectation that someone else is going to get the karma, how you want to see it played out, then you will not get to see it. We've all heard people say karma, or what goes around comes around. But what does karma actually mean? Karma is a Sanskrit word which literally translates to action. It is a principle founded in Hinduism. However, different cultures and different religious schools vary on how they view the role of karma. So I thought I'd give you an overview of a few different ideals of it. Generally speaking, karma is considered to be a force that promotes cycles of positivity or negativity. In other words, it is the reason positive thoughts, words, and actions are rewarded by positive consequences, and negative thoughts, words, and actions are followed by negative consequences. However, there are many nuances to the karmic process. While depictions of karma in pop culture are a great equalizer of or vengeful God, it isn't either of these things. It isn't good or bad, but simply the process by which actions or intentions are addressed. A common misconception is that karma is, in of itself, the positive or negative consequence. For example, when you've said something unkind about another person, you might have thought to yourself, that will bring bad karma. What you really mean to say is that the action of talking poorly about another person will bring about negative consequences in your own life. Karma actually refers to the process by which those divine consequences are issued. It's important that we don't misconstrue the principle of karma and perpetuate an unfounded belief that it victimizes or dooms us for eternity. Karma doesn't hand out rewards or punishment. It's an energetic exchange that is created, powered, and contained by itself. In Hindu and Buddhist philosophies, karma refers to the cause and effect process by which good actions breed more good actions and bad actions bring about more bad actions. However, to only consider karma as producing consequences is a limited definition. Karma also refers to the morality of a person's intentions. Karma is action channeled by thought. Positive intentions would be ones that are considerate of yourself and others and benefit the most people, whereas negative intentions usually indicate malice or the purposeful infliction of harm. Karma can also be in response to your thoughts and actions towards yourself. If your friend walks around believing I am a bad person, according to the principle of karma, she is repeating a familiar negative thought pattern that will usher in additional negativity into her present and future decisions. As above, so below as above. According to our contemporary misunderstandings of karma, it can be easy to believe that an unfortunate incident in your present life is the result of a mistake you made in a past. However, karma isn't necessarily that simple. It may help to view karma as more of a cycle instead, as in your thoughts, feelings, and words fuel your actions, thus feed the karmic life cycle. The relationship between karma and reincarnation is very complicated. Reincarnation is the philosophy that the soul lives on after the physical body it inhabited has died. The afterlife, exactly what I teach. Reincarnation is a prominent belief in Hinduism, Buddhism, Jainism, and Sikhism, as well as many other religious cultures throughout the world. As the embodied soul continually passes in this body from childhood to youth to old age, the soul similarly passes onto another body at death. Worn-out garments are shed by the body. Worn-out bodies are shed by the dweller within the body. New bodies are donned by the dweller, like garments. According to the belief of reincarnation, a soul will then inhabit a new physical body, which could take the form of a plant, animal, human, or spirit, depending on what karmic level it reached in its past. Souls continue through the process of birth and rebirth until they reach moksha, a Sanskrit word that translates to release. In order to reach moksha, or liberation, a soul must reach a level of spiritual enlightenment while inhabiting a physical body. A soul's enlightenment, according to Hindu philosophers, includes the deep knowing that a being is not their egoic state, but rather one with the universe. There are plenty of ways to engage with karma in our daily lives, such as using self-compassion instead of self-judgment, saying kind words to and about others, making time for moments of self-care, trying out the positive affirmations or mantra, respecting the earth and giving back to our communities. When you feel badly about yourself or something you have done recently or in the past, use the mantra, next time I will do better. Karma is not about good versus evil. It's a constant work in progress on our journey through life. I want to add to this a little bit that when we are pushing the expectation of a karmic outcome onto somebody else because people want to see the comeuppance, remember that's about their journey. That's about them deciding whether they are going to be positive or negative about themselves or anyone else. Their karmic journey is very personal. And if we continually expect other people to get their karma in a way that we would expect it, then we are no better than them because we are putting out those negative words. I want to talk about this in particular because the consistency in which people are giving the Republican people and Trump in the US, talking about it, mentioning it, when's it going to end? How's it going to end? How are we going to do this? When? You are constantly using your energy towards them. You are feeding them. The more you think about it, the more you feed it. As above, so below as above. Everything comes full circle. Try not to give them so much energy. That thing we fear the most is what the universe will present you with. So here's your reminder that allow other people's karma to play out so you have control of yours. I always find it interesting that people think that they can do one thing in public and think something else behind the scenes. All of these Christian nationals, all of these people claiming to love God, not only are they, many of them, fearful of dying because they know what they've been thinking and doing behind the scenes. It isn't a show the public one thing, because the universe sees everything we do. And that is, as I always teach, if you are giving one message to the universe and under your breath you're going, I don't want that, I don't deserve that, I can't get that, I'm okay as I am, but I really, really want this. The universe doesn't know what the fuck you want. So how can they bring you that good stuff? Remember, this is the year of living authentically. Whilst I'm on that topic, I'm going to talk about some things that I have already covered in my 2025 predictions. But I feel the need to remind people, given some of the stuff that is going on overseas and in Australia, we are still going to be struggling economically. This is the year to right your financial wrongs. If you are overspending, if you are living above your means, if you are wanting, if you're living in, for instance, if you're living in a big house because you felt that it was something that you had to have for your family to look or be part of something, and you are miserable because you are working 40, 50, 60 hours a week, 2 jobs, etc. I'm not talking about the people that are making ends meet. I am not talking about the people that are living and struggling to survive, to buy the basics. I'm talking about people that want big but cannot pay the check at the end of the month. This is your time. I have talked about this on my chats on Patreon, how it's time to almost go back and live like your grandparents did. Making the food from scratch, even the kids' treats. Looking at growing things. There are going to be a multitude of food crises this year. Not just because it's going to become incredibly expensive, but also because of logistics, because of weather, because of a crisis of people to pick the fruit or the veg or anything like that. Because of cybersecurity, various reasons that food is going to be in shortage. I'm going to say choice of food, but also expensive. So please take heed. It is time to start living authentically. This year is the start of a long process of righting of wrongs. So what do I see coming in over the next couple of months? I try and get as much global information from my guides during my podcast, or obviously before my podcast. I don't channel when I'm doing my podcast, but I try and get as much international information as I can. I am seeing many things play out. The cyclones that I saw hitting both Northern Territory and Queensland and Western Australia have all come into play in the last couple of weeks. Floods in Queensland whilst we have fires in Victoria. That has been playing out. A lot of what I have said for the United States, yeah, I know the obvious one. You don't need to remind me. That's playing out. A lot of what I've said in the United Kingdom is playing out. And in Ireland, especially around the weather. I hope you're all safe over there after last weekend's gusty weather, shall we say. So I'm going to give you what I've been given. And I feel like this may take us to sort of end of April. I know we're only in January, but hold on to things. First off, I do see a significant outcry as Donald Trump upsets an international previous ally and retaliation on American soil. I feel like that's coming up more in the spring. He's going to piss someone off real bad. I also want to warn Americans traveling overseas that there is going to be an anti-American uprising. It is towards government, but likely to be taken out on Americans. If you are traveling overseas, be very, very careful and know your surroundings. I feel like there's going to be problems in India with floods. I do feel India, it could be Pakistan, but I feel floods coming in the next couple of months. There is going to be a problem in South Africa with, I know you already have electricity and it can be rationed, but I feel like there is an outage in South Africa. I'm not very good at Pretoria. I want to say Pretoria, around that area. So if you're in South Africa, pay heed to that. And the United Kingdom are looking at mass walkouts in Parliament. There is also going to be a warning given via the royal family to President Trump. And the United Kingdom is going to see some I want to say looting for some reason. It's almost like there's some news that trickles down, whether it's an announcement or an uprising against a brand of some sort, and it's like some people go looting, break windows. That's what I feel. I have also been shown sometime between the end of March there will be another raid regarding P. Diddy, one of his cronies. Someone in Hollywood is going to run to another country to avoid arrest. I feel like it's Hollywood, actor or singer, okay? Someone of note is going to run to avoid arrest. They could already be running. They could already be running, is what I want to say about that. Here in Australia, we are going to have a bit of a quiet time of it. There is going to be an unearthing of a terrorism group towards the Jewish religion. I know we've had a lot, for those of you that aren't getting Australian news, there has been a lot of attacks on people of the Jewish religion, which is really horrific. But I feel like they're going to unearth a bigger chain, organised crime, something to do with that. I also feel someone's going to show up in the next 3 or 4 months that has been missing, and they will show up in Australia. It could be somebody that may have been on the run or just reported missing and that they're just living a normal life. That's it for predictions at the moment. Keep an eye on my Patreon for more predictions, and I've just been a really busy couple of weeks. Actually, it's been really busy. Usually I don't work in January, and this January has been a little bit busy, and I haven't had a chance to do my usual predictions, but I will be back on doing that. I have decided to do them on Patreon, and then they can have them for a period of time before I take them over to social media. But that's how I'm going to be doing it for now. But that's about it for now. Before I sign off for this week, I am going to read you an amazing review that I received this week, and it reminds me why I do what I do. Somebody asked me that on social media. How do you keep the faith when you have gotten something wrong? Predictions are a tiny, teeny bit about what I do. I am a medium. That's what I do. And the fact that I can connect people with their loved ones who have transitioned and prove that continuation of consciousness, I love it. And that is what I'm on this earth to do. The predictions are really to get people's attention, to show that I have that connection with spirit. But I've got this beautiful review, and she's given me permission to read it out. Sharon A. has written, I've watched Matilda work in several of her large mediumship groups, just for watching and seeing how she works. I attended one a couple of months ago where my mother stepped forward. I knew from the instant Matilda explained the energy of the person that she had that it was my mum. She got her name right. She explained that she was with my dad and that they were free of any pain. And after watching my mother suffer through bone cancer, that was the best gift that I could have gotten. Matilda explained things in great detail, and I could tell that it was my mother's words coming out of Matilda's mouth. I don't know how I can ever thank Matilda for the biggest gift I have ever gotten. Thank you. Thank you. I look forward to attending more of your events. Well, thank you, Sharon. That is just beautiful. And I'm so glad I was able to bring you that piece and that Mum stepped forward with all that information. Thank you. And on that note, I am going to wrap up for this week. Don't forget, my April dates go live. There's always a bit of a rush for them on the 1st of April. No, they don't. On the 1st of February, I've forgotten what month that I am in. Gee, January is a long year, isn't it? My April dates go live on the 1st of February. They go live, first of all, in my Patreon, and Patreons get their nice discounts, and then they will go live about the 3rd to the general public. I currently have a large mediumship event open for the 21st of February. That is already on my website, and I think that's about it. Oh, I almost forgot. Laurie Rivers and I have a We See events on the 8th of February. These things can go on for hours. I'm not going to lie. The last one went on for about 3 and 4 hours. We go through different areas of the world, making predictions, weather, politics, conflicts, people, all of that. Laurie reads the astrology. I go in channeling, and we do it side by side. It's great. A lot of information comes out of it. And a lot of what we've done in the last 2 events have happened and come true. So you can sign up for that through Patreon, but I will put the booking link on the bottom of the show notes for today. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I will see you all next week. Have a wonderful week. And you'll catch me on the chats on Patreon a couple of times a week. Lots of love. Bye.